Welcome to this training video from Anglian Dental. Today we'll be talking about the single surgery vacuum system from Cattani, which is the MicroSmart. In this video I'll be talking through how to replace the amalgam collector vessel on the Cattani MicroSmart. The brilliant thing about the MicroSmart is it has a clear display inwards that tells you if there's any problem with the machine. So as you can see, waste tank 95% full. The machine will still run with a 95% full alarm. Once it reaches 100% full, the machine will stop and it forces you to perform the maintenance on the pot. So, first things first, the manufacturer states good practice is to replace the contaminated pot with a new pot every time the alarm goes off. So you don't want to be replacing this on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Only remove this pot when the machine tells you to, because you'd be putting yourself at risk, you'd be putting the machine at risk for potential leaks, etc. So the new pot will come with a lid. It has a front and a back clearly labelled on the lid. What you need to do is remove, there's a plug, quarter of a turn, remove this plug, and that will just release any air when you're putting the lid onto the airtight container. I'll do a separate video on this because there's a bit of a knack to making that easier. So back to the machine. Ideally, whenever you're performing any maintenance on the machine, isolate it by the green switch on the top here. Full PPE, so gloves, goggles, visor, apron, and some paper towel handy just in case there's any spillages. So this display will stay on for 20 to 30 seconds after you've turned the machine off. So if you feel more comfortable, just wait for that display to shut down. But I know once I've turned that machine off, the machine won't start and there's no danger. So as you can see, I'm using my thumb and forefinger to unwind this screw. Not a lot of force is required. Maybe just a finger's worth of pressure keeping the pot back into the machine so it doesn't just drop out, not that it should. So then once you reach the bottom of the travel, you'll see these two lugs will clear that steel guide rail. So the plastic lugs on the pot will clear that steel guide rail, and the pot will just be able to slide forward quite easily. Expect to see water in here, probably 95% full, and the sediment will be roughly 75% full. So expect there to be liquid full in here. Best thing to do is remove this and just put it onto a flat surface straight away to securely fix the lid. I'll do a separate video on that because there's a bit of a knack to it. So ideally want to just have a quick wipe around here. If there's been any spillages, just clean them up. Then with the new pot, your aim is to get these two lugs to run up these guide rails and this recess to have this nylon disc sitting in this recess, because that helps remove the pot. So it will pull the pot down when it's time to replace the pot. So slide in, no force required whatsoever, just a finger's worth of pressure to keep the pot back into the machine. And then thumb and forefingers worth of pressure, no more required, to start to wind the pot in. And as you'll see, the two lugs will run up the guide rail, and the process is pretty much automatic. You want to see this gap here from the top of the pot to the bottom of this grey plastic rim. You want to see the gap to be closing equally. If it's not for any reason, start again, wind the screw all the way out and start again. But in this case, it's worked perfectly. And then when you reach the top of the travel, finger tight, no more pressure than thumb and forefinger. So another quick wipe around in case there's any spillages. Turn the machine back on. There'll be a cooling fan start up you'll hear on the main control panel. That's perfectly normal, that'll run for 15 to 20 seconds. But as you can see, the fault has now cleared and we are back to normal a normal looking control panel. So this is what you'd expect to see. This is the icon for the Amalgam vessel, and as you can see, it's got one line, so that's saying it's empty. Temperature, software running, amount of cycles. So that is a normal looking control panel, what you'd want to see. So that procedure has been successful. Now what I'd recommend to do is go back to the treatment centre, run some water down the cannula and the spittoon, and then come back to the machine just to make sure there's no leaks, and then you're good to go. I hope you found this video helpful. If you do have any further technical questions, please reach out to one of our team.